We are here in our studio for Emuna is Our Future with true, sincere journeys. Yes, we are the new cool crowd. That's how we're going to define this. How does that work? So we'll discuss that in the class. Concept from thanks to Joe Rogan, of all people, just getting the audio on here. There we go. Fantastic. We are live on all platforms, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and podcast, as well as preservation bookings on the Instagram flow. Wanted to warm up people that we should realize we're in an emergency situation, emotionally, spiritually. There's a lot to do. Everyone needs Shem as full host that Yeshua to bring. We have his beautiful ahead. I don't know if you guys can. I'm a new light, learning most Emuna series. Itself was the one that opened up, and his 99. If it was I can't remember. It was during the time put out Shila Malas. A lot of however you want to say. Thank you, Hashem. Announcement that hello, I will be Emuna as of English platforms, Unity Inspires.com, or taking over the platforms. The main point is and our the Emuna, something which is for all of us to gain and grow. Big thank you for all these years. Now, I'm not leaving. Got a bunch of more classes. The 7th chapter page. We're moving ahead. And lights book opportunity. You can reach out to Dulce about to get hold of your reach out, send it to you. I'll make sure this out to you. We're sharing Emuna Global. These classes are more global. Remember this important on my fridge. All Emuna be good. Make it global. Better and better. And that's the same. Check it out, Breslov.com. Go to class of mine. I'm asking the Banat one last shared on platforms for you wonderful people. Where I go on Unity at the Zerah rating there. Great new talent. We have Israel in the making. Had connection with him. 2008-9, we did a show in the day with Jerusalem, and he was with his brother, who does all the thank you musical content. Going forth, that's part of the class. Sincere journeys. Us together. Put out a new extract. Formations and transitions. going through those transitions. Emotionally, everyone's got to be ready for the change to what's going on. 23 change by VR and all these things. There's going to be augmented. A few classes added in Bard. But there's going to be a lot more to be able to handle as this hits and for their business practice of writing, even Rabbi hi, someone's reaching give your love. And one point is we're always saying, however we did thank God to the Sadiq in a minute with these wonderful some of your feedback. I will leave loyal to the cause. By now, when the Rav, so hopefully this current class from Rabbi Shalom Arush, by now, God's 111th, 12th playlist of Facebook, on Instagram. Facebook playlists are very on the Breads of English. Have all the podcasts, even when Rabbi 2018 break, while there was a whole back again around 2000 years on the books on the Emuna Tour 2020. Far back as that support, so that's how far 12th class, another 100 from the other is of Tammuz and the other people. As a name out there hated to thank God my son have Shmuel Leoni, so we're going to be successful in all his the family lost a soldier. We wish them and we welcome everyone. Jerusalem. It will be emotional for me. Such a wonderful place. The opportunities are content wherever we go. We focus up for it in the whole world journey. I'm a smartphone. Hello, if anyone wants direct, can keep doing the content, the different angles. We have the Instagram, the Facebook. Okay, we also host Tina and also Elevation. Tours I really wanted to, but it wasn't meant to be. And thank you for all the Kaysen and all these success. And Gedalia will deal New Jersey, and also his event. But the person was the cancer on Open. That is to our Emuna class. Things. Good week. Sharing Emuna. Thank you, Eli Goldsmith, for your dedication. Saying that again. Shem Refuah Shem they're seeing on the platform. Unfortunately, when you did a session on the studio, you almost a week. So you have to be very careful with security. We mentioned developments. Make sure you have security. They unfortunately hacked. So thank you back, and it was a beautiful session, Rabbi, and you can check it out. This tour there on the Best of English platform. For Shema Rav Arush, thank you, Rabbi. Give shorts, reels, platforms. Oh, Rabbi, I hope you bless. That was the Emuna article. Thank you, Hashem. Psalms did really well. Hashem, thank you. Keep reminding ourselves. So thank Hashem. That was the main side. Ad Am Yisrael Chai V'Kam Shabbat Shalom. Post the Shabbat Shalom. Menachem, I think his name Menachem. I have to remember, not Zem. Anyway, just check. We'd be always putting up. Hopefully, they'll continue when I'm not here as well. Jail learning quotes. So my friend Rabbi Menachem. Abraham ben Avraham Top from New York on the special to Me Too. Someone for sharing this beautiful weekly class. Shalom Shalom Rabbeinu Benigda, and lots of images. Philly Shah, Gabriel Cass, thank you, Rabbi, and lots of Spanish again. Yosef Danil, the Holy Chavra, ready, and should bless you, dear Ravelli. And reminder to check out Toby. We did hopefully a quote that will appear from the Rav, and I read it out in the lot. All right, let's go into the learning of a new light into the teachings of Rabbi Shalom Arush. Again for your patience and joining us weekly. The principle says in the middle of page 390, Fundam went to war between the good and evil inclination is the war and foolishness. That's right, we are at the end of the on an emotional level, spiritual level, physical level, we need all the help we can get. A proper and clear awareness of the power of good inclination, and all foolishness and confusion and concealment of evil inclination. So obviously all this concealment of and confusion, unfortunately the world is filled with it. So we see how much there's a battleground right now on the and the media level to get to the kernels of truth, to be, as we said, journey wherever we go. I'll be going to London this weekend, and as I mentioned for Israel, Portnoy, and all these other wonderful people, Yosef Mendelovich, who we mentioned 2 weeks ago. Check out the previous classes. We mentioned out to him and last week as well, I think, and he's going to be in Chicago in Elul in August. So a lot of people are traveling, a lot of journeys, but the most important thing is it should be done with sincerity and truth, grounded in the neshama, in the soul connection, the united souls, that we're here to share light, and that's what we're always trying to do in Unity Bookings and everything we did here in the studio, that we're here to share light and truth. This constitutes the war against Amalek. We're fighting against Suffolk, against doubt. The value of Amalek is equal to the word of Suffolk, doubt. Doubt doubts. Amalek's entire power is to assert doubts into part of awareness regarding matters that should be clear to him or her, and to cause people to forget them. It's way even if he needs to control a person. So right now we see there's so much lack of clarity in the world that the ability to hold out strong in MS, in truth. Oh, someone wrote Shalom, Shalom, Mishpocha. Very nice, thank you. And yes, good news by you, someone else wrote. So we need to realize that we're at war with Amalek. You guys on Facebook also can reach out, give some feedback, always makes a difference, as well as all the platforms. Share, get this Emuna global, because we're fighting a war and we need to get the awareness and truth out there. This is clear mission. To win the war, we need the truth and the MS, the sincerity. The journey has to be filled with clarity, has to be with goals and dreams and values, as we've done many classes back in the day on the 10 habits of truly effective people. And there's amazing things. If you go back in previous classes, we discussed how do we do this on this journey. But let's carry on with Rabbi Arush's explanation. This way that even if she needs to control a person, if he doesn't have that awareness, which is the opposite of happiness and joy. Someone says praying, ruach, healing. Thank you. The entire of the war against Amalek is to fill oneself with sharp, clear, and absolute knowledge. As the Torah states regarding the war against Amalek, write this as a remembrance in a scroll and place it in Yeshua's ears. Yeshua ben Nun, you see, he gets smicha in this week's parsha with Parshas Pinchas. We're going to talk about Parshas Pinchas today. Very important to get the energy of the Yom Tovim, the Moedim, the Chagim, the Parshas of Pinchas and the Nachala, the inheritance of Eretz Yisrael. To remember that in the end of the day, this is our place. And to remember that even if we journey, the goal is to bring that light back to here, the Shefa back here, and then keep sharing it outwards constantly. As the base of Migdash, his windows open upwards. They share light outwards. They're not bringing the light in, they're bringing the light outwards. The light comes from the Panemius, from the inner realm, from the temple. Whereas I was listening to a podcast, we have to come much more inwards. Even a Jay Shetty, my brother, actually works with him these days. We have to become more inwards. And I had a speaker there in health and everything. Has to come from the inner aspects. We want to heal ourselves. We want to come to a blessing. We have to come from the inner place, from Panemius, from the inside. That's the temple, the light there, the Aron Kodesh, the Menorah, the Lechem Ponim. These places bring Shefa and Brocha and Torah and spirituality and truth and sincerity. That place is an inner sanctuary. It's an inner place. Like every human being has an inner realm of spirituality, and in the world, it manifests at the base image. And each microcosm of person, it manifests in the heart level, and then the mind, the soul, where the soul resides. And that's the idea, of shining it out through the eyes, through the mouth, through the different aspects of us, like the windows of the temple, shining out to the world. And that's our job. That's what we're here, to share out this truth. This is the remembrance that we have to write down. We had a beautiful shorts from the Rabbi Shalom Arush about writing and remembering that we have Emuna, that we have Tainli Emuna, give me Emuna. I have to remember this is the most important thing. And these guys passing through the content. This is life-changing. This is going to save your life, change your life. This is going to give us the ability to survive the war. Yeah, it's not enough to have tanks and missiles and all this kind of government protection, or the opposite. I don't know if they're so protective us anymore, our interests. It has to be with inner strength and inner truth. This is what's going to give us ability to survive through all the generations until Mashiach himself comes and we see the Gilui, the revelation of true knowledge in the world, through however Hashem will decide. It could be through the internet, it could be through human connection. It will be, most importantly, it will be there. The revelation will be there. Yeah, faith, hope for mercy. Much love to everyone. Yes, amen. Yes, we write this in a scroll and place it in Yeshua ben Nun's ears. He had smicha, he had Ruach HaKodesh placed on him from Moshe Rabbeinu, so he could continue leading the Jewish people into Eretz Yisrael. And thankfully, once we're in the Holy Land, we're able to do our mission here, and we're returning again back to the Holy Land. Even if we go on our journey, our Eila Masai, we're going to talk about that next week. We have Matas Masai as I'm journeying back to Eretz Yisrael. We're going to hopefully have the opportunity to share a class midweek, Wednesday, back to Wonderful Wednesday. Today's Real Tuesday. We ended up doing a day early, the class. Thank you, Hashem. Now, then doubt no longer controls a person. Now begins his work of the will, inserting clear awareness into his heart. because only then is that work possible. And not only is it possible, it's quite easy because he has a clear and substantial basis upon which to build. To explain, the inclination does not have the power to distort the truth of any topic that a person has placed before his eyes, which he contemplates or she contemplates, studies, and clarifies, until it grows clear and certain. Even if he or she stumbles, they know the truth and they know that they stumbled. Therefore, though he or she failed, he or she is in very good position, because they understand that it's not blameless and that he must rectify or she must rectify themselves. But when the evil inclination perverts and distorts the truth and confuses the person's awareness, he or she is in a very difficult position, because he does not even know, or she does not know, that he or she is immersed in darkness. There's no way to rectify a situation, or she doesn't, because they don't understand that something in them is not all right. Every way of a person is straight in his eyes, it says in Mishlei. Yeah, they start thinking they know. I know. Yeah. Like, I've had that conversation with many people who really, unfortunately, haven't had the opportunity to learn much. Good morning, someone reached out. Yes. And here in Israel, it's already like 12:15, 12:30, our usual time to go live. But the concept is that many people I've met over the years, they think, I know. I went to Shiva. I understand this. I already know this already. It's for hot days right now, summer months. So it's 3 weeks beginning. We're already going to be fasting on Thursday. Shabbat, so B'Tammuz, 17th of Tammuz. 3 weeks is an opportunity of elevating the time in a real deep inner way. The solution to the golus, the exile, is to become more inner, especially during the 3 weeks. It's Chochmah bin Adas, these 3 weeks, connected to the 3 aspects, the hidden levels of wisdom, knowledge, understanding. We have to go inner to get the depth of these days, with these special parshas of Pinchas and Matas Masai and Devarim that we're coming to. And the 3 weeks, each Shabbos is Ravlach Sheves Be'emech HaBocha. The Shabbases go up, Rav Lach Sheves, as we sing in Lechadodi. The Shabbases get higher and more elevated, even though the Emek HaBocha, we go deeper into the inner aspects, the inner struggle. We have to dig deep to pull out the essence of who we are, to get more essential. I was listening to El Katoli on Lewis Howes, one of my friends' podcasts, so I had the merit to meet Lewis in the Holy Land and give him a blessing. But El Katoli is talking about, and all the thought leaders out there, Jordan Peterson, everyone's talking about, you have to become more inner, have to more value-based. Even Joe Rogan, I'd like to go there myself and remind him that it's all about values and having value-based. Zubi, speaking to lots of well-known people these days, but they all understand there's certain values that we all need to have. Yeah, I'm not going to say some of the other people I'm listening to because I don't agree with them and I don't want to publicize them, but the concept of the true, sincere journeys that we're all going on has to be based in foundation of values. And some people just don't know. They don't have the connection that it comes from the soul, that it comes from spirituality, it comes from thousands of years of Messiah, of tradition. And that was one of the beautiful words that those 2 young guys said to Rabbi Arush, the idea of Shemeres HaMessiah. Those who guard the Messiah, guard the tradition, those are the ones that they're giving appreciation. And we were most nefesh. I came to it later on, just like they did in my 18, 19 years of this world. I didn't really know much about all this. And thank God I had the opportunity through learning these kind of books and through learning Torah. I had the opportunity to get that awareness, to get that das, to get that inner wisdom that's hidden in these 3 weeks, to get that opportunity to elevate ourselves to the higher levels of understanding of what we're here for. And that's a beautiful, beautiful ability, to connect into the deeper levels, to the essence of who we are. So let's go ahead. We're in the middle of page 320. Let's try to finish this concept. I'll explain this in practical terms in accordance with the example of joy, which I began. The evil inclination closes itself in the midst and tells a person that depression, bitterness are called repentance and regret. So the 3 weeks, a big mistake people make, they think you have to be depressed. There's no such thing. Adam Martin Besimcha, Mishaniknas Martin Besimcha. We get to the 9 days, think, now I have to get depressed. It doesn't say that. It says decrease a little bit the joy, but it's only become more inner. And once you go more inner, inside, even on Tisha B'Av, there should be simcha, as I've heard from Tzaddikim. On the inner level, in the inner sanctuary, there's no churban, there's no destruction. The temple still stands. The Kodesh Kadoshim is there, and you're able to have that inner journey wherever you go. You're bringing that inner light. So that's why it's so important to connect, to know yourself. Even though Katoli said this, you have to know yourself. And we know there's a beautiful sefer from Mishkan Evner, the idea of know yourself. Yeah, you have to really get to know that inner essence, and from that inner essence, then you can deal with everything. There's no more suffering, as he says, as Rabbi Arush always says. Well, I'm in Gan Eden. I'm already in a place of God. I'm always experiencing the true pleasure of connection of the soul, and there's nothing to worry about now because I'm at a different level. It's no longer the alert feeling I just put on Instagram over the red. I'm already at a place of thank you Hashem, of how everything is good, as we're saying here from Rav Arush. Everything is for the good, and everything is going to be good, and it's going to get better and better. Yeah, and this is the idea that he says here that the person spends his dejected over his sins, a person not learned and doesn't know the truth, or who knows it on some level but has not really realized it, he hasn't internalized it, we've been talking about last few weeks, will suffer terrible desolation, which is a grave sin. And as you think, he's a holy person is repenting, whereas actually caught in a deep net of his evil inclination. Do you think, wow, I'm so down, that's so holy? No. Simcha, Baal Shem Tov came to wake up the world again, to Simcha, the Arizal, all the Tzaddikim, the Pnimiyah Tzaddikim, Rabbi Nachum ben Feigev, Nachum ben Simcha, to waken up the Jewish people to Simcha, to joy, and Rav Arush is doing the same now. The joy is essential, yeah? But when a person knows clearly the depression is absolute evil, as Rabbi Nachum says, it is from the other side, and Hashem, may He bless, hates it. The Likutei Moharan in Torah, in the first book, Torah 48. Hashem hates depression, hates sadness and mental illness. He knows the truth, even if it's not seen as sowing joy into his heart. Since that awareness is still far from his heart, he knows that he is in error. He wants to be happy. He wants to be happy, and he's able to plead with Hashem to help him place the proper awareness in his heart. So that's, all of us can do that. He and she, all of us, can pray for Simcha to enter our heart. No matter what we're doing, Elo, a new time coming. Yeah, even now, 3 weeks. Let's get joyous. Yeah, let's enjoy these 3 weeks together in the studio. I'm going to be in England, seeing my family, and then be back to the studio by next Wednesday. Please God, everything goes smooth. The flights, and it'll be Shalom and Brisi Shalom from Pinchas. The idea of bringing the Kedushas of Brisi Shalom. Pinchas was mild, the whole Jewish people. It was like did Mila when he put the spear through Cosby and Zimri. The idea of the whole concept of Shmuel ben Shaddai, he put it through them. I think it was Cosby Bas Zimri. The idea, put it through those two people, and it was a Mila. It was a circumcision on the hearts and the souls of the Jewish people at that time in the Midbar. And that's the idea of Pinchas is Zu Eliyahu Novi. I'm also Eliyahu HaKohen. The idea of bringing this Mila, of circumcising our hearts, of removing all the cover-up, removing all the blockage, removing all the pain, or elevating the pain, or being real with the pain, and going deeper into the deeper levels where there's joy and the simcha, where the pain, it doesn't penetrate, doesn't impact, because inside all of us is essential goodness, is essential holiness, the blessings that Bilam wanted to give us. Really, deep down, he wanted to give us curses, but because in essence we're good, he could not even touch, as we said. Shabbos is a time which is Kula Kodesh. Shabbos is a time which is only a Makor Brocha, blessing. So these Shabboses of these 3 weeks are elevated beyond. I'm going to be walking from Golders to Hampstead this coming Shabbos. I'm walking in the streets of London with my Jewishness, and I'm going to be proud to share light to the nations, to share light to the world, and be Shabbos. To be in the realm of Shabbos, not going to have a phone on me to help me get from one place to the other. I'm going to enjoy people's simchas. I'm going to see my nephew should be blessed. Leo, Zalman, Zulin, Ben, Pinchas, Shmuel HaKohen, my brother's Pinchas. He's joining him for his simcha on Parshas Pinchas. And that's what we're going to be hearing. Everything's a shkacha pras, everything's divine providence. So we go ahead with joy. Thus, the first stage of work with came clear awareness by means of deep and fundamental Torah learning. That learning and constant daily review build a wonderful tool of the will. Like I have tonight, my Chavrusa's Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, we're learning Hilchos for 3 weeks, Tisha B'Av, and we're also learning, and I believe if we learn these halachas, these laws, we won't have to actually go through it, so we actually have Geula. It will turn around these 3 weeks. And then we have the opportunity to learn Chassidut. I'm going to be learning with Rabbi again, hopefully, Bez Hashem, and with Sodek, with another a doctor, someone a fine person, opportunity to sit and learn with people. Everyone needs to make more time, more connection to the Torah, as Rav Arush is teaching us. Yeah? Whew, that learning and constant daily review build a wonderful tool of the will. And that's the whole idea. It's a garden of yearning. That is because a person strongly desiring that which is clear to him or her, whether his will or her is very weak regarding everything about which is doubtful. So we have to clarify to strengthen our will. That's Yeshua. Moshe said that to Yeshua. Yeshua said that to Yeshua ben Nun, the Nun Deka generation, the Shah Nun. He's giving us the chizuk of Rak Chazak Yemat to strengthen our will, not to allow any of this shtiyat, the nonsense, to pull us down, to be energized, to remember we're here for a mission, we have a purpose, we have fulfillment, we have clarity. We're not focused. We're going to try build a marketing thing, try this, try that. We're going to help the Zera Shimshon, please go. We're going to help this organization, help this musician do his thing. Remember, the whole goal is to bring it back to Hashem, to bring all the nigunim, all the shtadlis, all the work, all the efforts, all the songs, all the classes we do. It's all about connecting to Hashem Yisbarach. So it's all Hashem. And all the tzedakah, and all the charity, and connection to the tzaddik, connection to the truth, to the tzaddikim, to the wholeness of soulness, the wonderful, beautiful opportunity to be a soul in this time of history where the tests seem so huge and the distractions seem so massive and the confusion of balagan. But we have connection to truth. We are grounded in truth. I'm taking this book with me. It's not staying in this studio. It's coming with me. This one, I'm ready to give it away to someone who wants it. Reach out to me. Come on, guys. It's about time. I still haven't got it. I can't believe it. You know, one of the reasons, I'll be honest, I really feel like I've done my best. As a famous person just mentioned, that's what he wants on his grade. I really try my best. I've done everything I can for you guys and for this institution, everything that I can, I'm able to. I've put my time in and my effort. I've shared posts at night, middle of the night. I've been reached out to and responded as quick as I can. I've done everything I can to service you guys. I ask of you to keep sharing, to keep being influential in your sphere of influence. We need the awareness, we need the truth, the opportunity now to help save souls, to help people not end up in depression or addictions, to give them ability to have elixir of life, the Torah's Chaim, the energy. I was listening to a podcast, the concept of water and how it's vibrating, because that's filled with spiritual energy. It's like a nuclear bomb, the amount of energy that's within each word of Torah, of each moment of joy, of simcha, of happiness. And if do Hashem b'simcha, we serve Hashem b'simcha even in the 3 weeks. We have to go because we're going more inner. We're not so caught up in the external. We don't change our clothes as much. We're not so busy with all the external distractions. We're going more inner. So then there's an inner, deeper place of joy. And then we'll get to the Kadosh and the Panemius of place on Tisha B'Av, and that's really the deepest place of connection. And it's the same Kedusha, the same Torah the Tzaddikim used to give over. Torah from Tisha B'Av on Simchas Torah, and the time of the biggest joy of the year, because it came from that inner place. It was a journey from within. And that's why these 3 weeks of Chochmah and Das connected to those 3 high levels of wisdom, and we take them with us. Keser, Chochmah, Bina, however you want to say it. We take them with us into the 7 weeks leading after the 3 weeks, after Tisha B'Av, and that's the count towards Rosh Hashanah. And for you guys heading to Uman to connect to Rabbi Nachman in person, and Rav Arush is there for us right now, just on his way back. The opportunity to join in 7 weeks' time after Tisha B'Av in the Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Simchas Torah, Sukkot, the special time, Sukkot, Simchas Torah, these special days, the climax, this whole time period, these 10 weeks that we're beginning Thursday. Realize this opportunity to organize and clarify the 10 parts of the soul, the sincere journey. It's a journey on a weekly level, on a daily level, connecting to the Parsha daily, connecting to the Parsha weekly, to learn what's written in Parsha's Pinchas, to internalize it, not just to be Yotzi Zion, hear it in a shul, but to actually think about it. How does it relate to me in 2023? Make it real. Make these things, daven on it. Pray on it. Pray on it to make it real. Pray for all these things. Pray to have joy enter her heart. Pray to be more panimis, more inner, more will connected. So we're at the page 320. Know what you're working on. We're going to try, as I said, very hard, try finish this parak. We've got 2 more big sections in chapter 7, which will leave me with 2 more classes. If I'm able to finish chapter 7, then we'll do some round-up classes of working here. And I thank you guys again for following me, to being part of this journey in Emuna is our future, and we'll continue it on in Unity Flow and Unity Inspires Projects and all the other things, Unity Bookings. You can reach out for the growing list, make it happen, check into all the links below. Keep sharing Rabbi Shalom Arush's platforms. EmunaLive.com is not going to disappear. Hopefully it will continue the concepts, the teachings, the opportunity to connect and join all the wonderful things we've accomplished here, and to keep that legacy growing. Thank you, Hashem. We appreciate what you give us, and we say thank you and wish you a beautiful week, an easy, meaningful fast, and a beautiful Shabbos Kodesh, Parshas Pinchas, where you're going to have the opportunity to attach yourself to Moshe, Yeshua, and Pinchas, all the Tzaddikim, and the light of the Chagim, the festivals, the light of Eretz Yisrael. There's a lot of light in these Parshas, and Pinchas, Zueli, Anovi, and Eli will come and announce the Gula Shlema, the full redemption, the Binyan Bashisi, the rebuilding of a temple in this world. So it won't be just something I'm discussing. You will see it manifest. The whole world will know Hashem. It will be a Dira Tachtona, dwelling of Hashem in this world, where you can see Hashem's inner connection revealed to the whole of humanity, so everyone reconnects to their essence, to who they are. Even a Rogan and even a Lex Friedman and all these guys out there, Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg, all the big guys making a lot going on out there in the world, will be connected back to their Panemius, to the inner. All the technology and everything we see around us will have elevation. All the automobiles that are now going to be self-driving will have a purpose to drive. What are they driving for? They'll have clarity, what they're here for. Everybody have clear clarity. Even technology will be spiritualized, and we'll see the complete Emuna Shlema of what Rabbi Arush is teaching us come to fulfillment through all these hours and years of dedication and praying and getting more inner. That will give us the koach and the strength. Amen. Thank you again.